Okay, tonight I'm going to talk about recycling and why it is so important for our environment. According to Recycling Across America, currently less than 35% of households and less than 10% of businesses in the U.S. recycle. I actually work for a company who does not recycle. I know a lot of you are probably thinking that is really, I don't really know which word I'm looking for, irresponsible. And it is. It is very irresponsible for a company like the one I work at to not recycle. We go through tons and tons of paper just within a day. Many of us think that we are doing good things to help the environment, which I'm sure we are. A few of these things could be driving a fuel-efficient car or planting trees, but are you guys doing one of the most easiest things that you can do to help the environment? Are you recycling? Do your friends and family recycle? Does the business you work for recycle? And if all the answers above are no, what can you do to put that into action? Okay, let's start by understanding the importance of animals right now. While I was reading an article from Green Living, I realized how much one thing I do can affect somebody else. It doesn't need to be right now, it can be years down the line, or it can be, you know, I get in a car accident and then somebody else crashes into me and that affects that person, or you punch somebody in the face and it affects them right then and there. Well, pretend that is just like recycling. If you don't recycle, you are long-term affecting these animals and their natural habitats. And you are taking away the trees that they need to sustain their life. Paper recycling alone saves millions of trees each year. And this can be as simple, as making sure you are gathering up the scraps and throwing them in the recycling bin at work, or as simple as making sure all the soda cans and pop cans get put in a recycling bin at home. It's a very easy thing that you can add into your everyday life. And animals are not the only people who can benefit from recycling. Recycling is actually good for our economy. According to care2.com, recycling and purchasing recycling goods it creates a greater demand for more recycled goods. So that's just an all-around good thing. It's like the triangle. Goods from recycled goods, to make them, they take less water, they create less pollution, and they use less energy. So it's an all-around good thing. You're reusing these things and you're putting them just back into the cycle instead of putting them in a landfill and letting that landfill fill up full of things that you can potentially be reusing. Lastly, I would like to talk about how recycling is a wonderful way to prevent global warming. Recycling produces considerably less carbon, and so by doing that, it's not putting all the unhealthy greenhouse gas emissions into the environment, so we're not breathing in all this bad air, and we're not basically giving the greenhouse effect to the world. And like I mentioned with the landfill, by recycling you're not putting all this other waste inside of the landfill, so it's not seeping into the earth and into the water and whatever else happens to a landfill. In conclusion, there are a lot of really great ways that you can recycle, and there's a lot of really great reasons to recycle. And again, you need to remember that recycling can prolong wildlife and environments, and it's great for the economy, and it helps reduce global warming. Recycling is a great and effective way to make a difference all around the world for many different species and humans, and not to mention our own habitats. Please don't be that 65% of people who don't recycle. And please don't think it's just a waste of time, or it's not going to do anything, because it does help, and it can help greatly if everybody would get on board and we can all contribute to it. So I'm going to ask you guys a question. Who here is, if they don't already, who here is going to start recycling?